Chapter 1. The Making of a Wanderer. Narrator. Before the frontier called him a legend, David was a boy trying to survive. He was born in the rugged ridges of Tennessee, where mist clung to the mountains and every sunrise meant hard work. The wilderness around his family's cabin was beautiful but harsh. Forests swallowed trails, winter cut through the walls, and survival meant constant labor. David learned early that childhood didn't last long on the frontier. His father was a hard man, shaped by debt and struggle. His voice was stern, and affection was rare. David often escaped into the woods. There were no bills or anger, only the language of nature. He studied everything. A broken twig, a footprint, bent grass, each told a story. The wilderness became his first teacher. The woods don't lie. Every mark means something. You just have to slow down to read it. But home offered no freedom. When David was 12, his father made an arrangement with a cattle drover. The boy would work to settle the family debt. David stood by a wooden fence as cattle shifted in the mud. The drover watched him like property. "You'll go with him. Work until the debt is settled." "How long?" "As long as it takes." David looked to the mountains, already knowing the answer. The decision was final. Song, The Lion of the West. Born where the ridges meet the mist, a life carved out by a heavy fist. At 12, traded for a father's debt, driving cattle through mud and sweat. I ran from the town with no place to stay, the Tennessee sky lighting my way. I learned the language of track and tree. The wild was the only place for me. The cattle drive took David farther than he had ever been. He worked from sunrise to night, through rain and heat, keeping the herd moving. At night, he slept under the open sky. The work was hard, but it gave him something new: distance. For the first time, he imagined life beyond home. Around the fire, the men spoke of distant lands and endless western trails. To David, it sounded like freedom. "How far does the trail go?" "Farther than you should wander." "That's not what I asked." "No one knows where it ends." David stared into the dark. An owl called from the trees, as if calling him forward. Every mile left a chain behind. Every road unbound the mind. With the North Star burning like flame, I walked toward a life without my name. No comfort, no bed, no silver spoon, just a stubborn heart beneath the moon. If the world tried to make me small, I'd rise like a mountain and outlast it all. Raised by the river, tested by flame, the wilderness answered when I called my name. No chain could hold me, no fear could stand. I carried my freedom in my hand. Through valleys below and ridges above, I became David, the Lion of the West. The journey ended, but David was not the same boy who left Tennessee. The road had shown him a larger world and taught him survival, courage, and movement. When another conflict threatened to trap him again, he chose to leave. He ran. He carried only a pack, a canteen, and his clothes. No map, no promise, no certainty. Still, he went west. He can keep the debt. From this day, my life is mine. He filled his canteen and looked up. A hawk circled above. It moved freely, with no master, no fence. David smiled. He didn't know what waited beyond the next ridge, but the first step was taken. He was no longer just running from home. He was running toward the west. With the Tennessee sky as my crown, I left my fear in that frontier town. The trail ran west into the unknown, and every mile made the wild my home. Before he was a hero or a legend, David was a runaway boy beneath an endless sky, and his journey had just begun. End of chapter 1.